guys like my reversible hat? I actually like the other side more because it's like 80s. It reminds me of the 80s. Like Atari, you know? But any good pothead has to have, you know, marijuana related attire, or it's not real, you know, like your affection for marijuana cannot be trusted, you know, unless you have at least one hat and one good pair of socks that have the cannabis plant all over them. Just smoking it and being emotionally and psychologically dependent on it are not enough. You know, you need a good t-shirt. You need a lot of good rap albums that are completely devoted to cannabis. But you know, I quit smoking marijuana a couple months ago, and people probably think that I'm like way too conservative now because I don't believe in the legality of it. You don't appreciate weed if you think it should be legalized, because you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't care because you're not paying attention to all the states where bad things have happened because they legalized it. So I'd say the problem's you. Just saying. They've had a record number of hospitalizations, people overdosing on fentanyl. This wasn't happening before. You have all these people that have been checking themselves into emergency rooms because they're having psychotic breakdowns. They have a new term for, and I can't even say this without laughing because it's so fucking ridiculous. They have a new term now. It's called scromiting. It's where you scream and vomit at the same time. Who knew that was possible? Well, anything's potsibble with George Soros, okay? They did this shit on purpose. People weren't scromiting before it was legalized. People weren't ending up in psychiatric hospitals. Now, if people end up in a psychiatric hospital, much like Alex Berenson has talked about, it's because of the fact that they've smoked way too much of it. And when you smoke way too much pot, it has adverse effects. And I know this personally, and I know plenty of people that can attest to this as well, that if you smoke weed all the time, it's going to do the exact opposite from what it originally did for you. So if you smoke weed because you're trying to overcome your paranoia, which is why I did it, you know, because I'm naturally paranoid, as y'all probably have figured out, it's just going to make you more paranoid eventually. If you smoke weed because you're trying to eat, as I did, you guys know I have anorexia issues, well, eventually you won't be able to eat. Eventually it'll completely destroy your appetite. If you're smoking weed so you can sleep, you know, never did that, but I know a lot of people that do, though. Eventually, if you smoke too much of it, you won't be able to sleep, you won't be able to eat, you won't be able to do anything that you said you were using weed to be able to do, okay? I think that's God's funny way of saying, haha, you shouldn't have abused this. This is our most natural form of medicine, and it serves you right that it's not doing what it used to because you did too much of it. Now, that's why I don't miss it at all. It's like, yeah, I don't want to abuse it. And when I was just using it, you know, like, and I really appreciated it. It was like this thing that I looked forward to, like after work, and before work, during work, all the time, everywhere I went, But I really appreciated it though. And then when I got away from that appreciation, and it was just like, okay, this is a habit. It's hard to appreciate something that's just a habit, because then it's just, this is what I do so that I don't do other things. This is what I do to distract myself from the fact that I'm not doing more with my life. And I had to come to terms with that. And I think that's the majority of people that smoke it, I think that's why they do it, is so they don't have to do the things that they really would much rather do than just sit around and smoke weed. But people that use weed as medicine, people that use it the way that it's supposed to, they'll get something out of it. And I think that I was using it as medicine for a long time, and it was working as medicine. But when you just use it for a habit, it's just a thing that you do because you don't know what else to do, or it's just you're so used to it. Eventually, it's gonna kick your ass. It's God, man. God doesn't like it when you fuck shit up. And he put that specifically on the earth so that we would understand how fucked up this world is. He put that plan on the earth so we would seek him. We would strengthen our spiritual foundation and enhance our creativity. That is why that plan is on the earth. It is not on the earth to reduce pain. That's why opium is on the earth. Are these people retarded? They're retarded. I swear to God, they're retarded. All that weed does is distract you. It distracts you from your pain. So anybody says, oh, well, I don't experience pain because I smoke weed. You still experience pain. You're just not giving a fuck about it anymore because you're so baked. Okay? You're so distracted. But I mean, I know plenty of people that would rather be distracted than be on an opiate. And I totally understand that. That's totally fine. Everybody has the choice to do that. That's one of the cool things about being a cancer patient, I suppose. You can just be baked all the time and nobody judges you. But I'm not laughing at cancer patients. It's ridiculous though. People that don't have anything wrong with them, they think they need medicinal marijuana. They think they need the same level of THC as a motherfucker that has stage 4 lymphoma or whatever the fuck. That's fucked up. That just shows you like how drug addicted our culture is. And nobody appreciates anything. I remember doing opium this one time, black tar heroin, they call it. It looks like resin. It looks like a ball of resin. Hash oil. That's what it looks like. And you just smoke it. Man, that was a cool experience. I felt like a flower. I thought I was a flower. That entire 20 minutes, I thought that I was a motherfucking flower. And I thought to myself, I do not need to get a hold of this or I will die. And that made me understand like how addictive heroin's got to be. If you're injecting that shit straight into your veins, holy crap. Of course people die on a mattress. Of course people would choose that over living, I mean, that's why, like, people in this country, they don't understand drugs. And they don't understand drugs because of all the propaganda. It's either anti-drug propaganda or pro-propaganda. Anti-drug or pro-drug propaganda, rather. And, they don't understand anything about it. So, of course, they're going to misuse and abuse these things. We have no choice but to misuse and abuse every motherfucking thing in this country because, we don't understand how these things are supposed to work. You know what I'm saying?